It's often said that lions are the strongest animals and the best hunters in the world. In fact, this is not the case. Lions often fail at hunting, and they can be defeated by many animals, both huge herbivores and voracious predators, and even tiny flies. And now you'll find out exactly how it happens. Let's go. It's no secret that one of the major confrontations in nature is cats versus dogs. It seems that some dogs are no longer enough to fight with common domestic cats because they can attack even big and wild ones. Of course, a dog has to be large to do this, because a lion is not the same as a cute house kitten. Such dogs as Mastiffs or Caucasian Shepherd dogs may well compete with lions. If they don't beat them, they can at least rebuff their attack. But this is all in theory. In reality, dogs rarely come face-to-face with lions. However, there is one breed that was specially bred and trained to resist the kings of the jungle – the Rhodesian Ridgeback. Now, these dogs can shoo away an insolent lion or chase it away from the territory where it accidentally strayed in. In the past, they took a full-fledged part in the hunt for lions, helped people, and pursued the kings of the jungle. For this, they were even nicknamed lion dogs. Still, domesticated dogs are not as dangerous as wild dogs. That's where lions have a real threat. They often have to deal with African wild dogs. These predators almost always have an advantage because they hunt in large packs. In such a group, they can easily defeat any lion if it's alone. History knows many such cases. Crocodile. It's one of the biggest enemies of lions in Africa. And not just them. African crocodiles, especially Nile crocodiles, are top predators, so they can massacre literally anyone. Only the largest African animals are out of danger, but not always. Crocodiles sometimes attack buffaloes and even defeat them. But let's get back to lions. It must be said that lions are inferior to crocodiles, not in everything, or rather not everywhere. On land, the crocodile feels not very comfortable, unlike lions. So if the crocodile crawls far away from the water body, the big cats will be able to deal with it. But in the water, everything's exactly the opposite. There, the lion has no chance to win. It has a chance only to be rescued, and that'll take luck. In the water, the crocodile feels great. There, it's as agile, fast, and nimble as possible, which is not the case with lions since they're not very fond of water. The big cat can only hope that it can dodge the jaws and get on land as soon as possible. Otherwise, the crocodile will kill it very mercilessly. Lions are afraid of crocodiles. Every time they have to wade through a river teeming with these toothy creatures, they feel fear for their lives. Even in theory, if we put a crocodile and a lion in the same conditions, in which they would both feel great and show the most of their capabilities, then most likely the crocodile would win. These reptiles have a much more powerful bite, denser skin, and they're larger than the kings of the jungle. The Nile crocodile is 5 to 6.5 feet longer than the lion and weighs at least 220 pounds more than it. The next animals in this episode are, on the contrary, significantly smaller than lions, but they also pose a great danger to them. In addition, lions encounter them often and consider them their main enemies in the world. These are hyenas, of course. Why is there such enmity in the first place? It's all about the fact that nature has given hyenas and lions the same food. These animals hunt the same prey, and besides often share the same territory. Well, or at least adjacent territories. And given that both animals are great predators, this situation could not but become the reason for their constant clashes. This, by the way, has been going on for about 12,000 years. Then the animals existed in Europe. In such situations, one species usually displaces the other within a few millennia. But in this case, the rivals are equal and they're still competing. A lion has no chance of defeating a hyena, but only in one case, if the hyena has come to fight with its clan of a couple dozen individuals. And this happens quite often. In this case, the lion is doomed, if it's alone. Hyenas will not give it a rest. They'll try to corner it and bite it. The strength of their bite, by the way, is even more powerful than that of the lion. And when the lion cannot continue to fight back, the last thing it hears in its life is the evil laughter of hyenas. Also, hyenas can sometimes just mock a lion. For example, they may try to steal its prey literally from its teeth, or they may simply terrorize the king of the jungle so that it doesn't forget its main African rival. Lions have enemies not only among predators but also among herbivores. And to be more precise, among them there are those with which the lion has almost no chance. For example, the elephant. Everyone knows that the African bush elephant is the largest land animal on the planet. This is a case where size matters, and it matters a lot. The elephant is so big that no one in their right mind wants to mess with it at all. The African bush elephant is 10 times the size of the lion. This sounds crazy, but it's not an exaggeration. While a lion rarely weighs more than 440 pounds, it's quite common for an elephant to weigh 5 tons or more. The giant can simply crush a lion like some cockroach. Lions are well aware of this, so if they see an angry and enraged elephant, they often just run away. They're not trying to look cool. It's important for them to survive. Elephants are herbivores, but that doesn't mean they can't stand up for themselves, maim, or even kill someone. It's just that, unlike predators, they do it to protect their family or territory, not to eat fresh meat. In a one-on-one fight, the lion doesn't stand a chance. The elephant's too huge and strong, and it has a very thick skin that even the very sharp teeth and claws of the king of the jungle can't pierce. Even a whole pride of these big cats cannot always defeat an elephant. In addition, elephants are also very intelligent animals, so they can repel the lion's attack tactically. For example, by entering the water, which lions don't really like. But the elephant has a disadvantage. This giant is quite slow and clumsy compared to agile lions. If an elephant falls down surrounded by lions, it's unlikely to get back up. Lions occasionally take advantage of this by attacking inexperienced and young elephants that have wandered off from their herd. In this case, even a couple of lions can easily defeat an elephant. But in most cases, the giants with trunks have no equal. Rhino. It's a similar situation with these horned creatures. The rhino is the second largest animal in Africa, and therefore in the world as well. The white rhino stands out especially. The mass of mature males can reach 5 tons. The length exceeds 13 feet, and in height, such a giant can reach up to 6.5 feet. In addition, the rhino has a very thick skin and a sharp, long horn. Sometimes it can exceed 5 feet in length, but this is a rare exception to the rule. Usually the horn is much smaller. But its length is enough to intimidate lions in any case. As in the case of elephants, the rhino sometimes does not need to do anything at all to frighten the lion. It's enough just to appear near it. Rhinos inspire fear with their size, and lions often flee when they see these monsters. And if the rhino's angry, it's better not to mess with it at all for anyone, including even the most powerful lions in Africa. An enraged rhino is an uncontrollable and unpredictable threat that can finish off its rival literally in one move. The lion is many times smaller than the rhino, so the herbivore will only need to trample the predator or hit it with its horn to make it stop breathing forever. In a one-on-one battle, a lion has almost no chance of winning. But again, everything changes if there are several lions and one rhino, especially if it's a young creature that hasn't gained the proper weight yet. In this case, lions can easily knock down this slow-living machine and deal with it. But even in this case, it will not be easy to do this because the thickness of the rhino's skin reaches 3 inches. It takes an incredible effort to pierce it. Snakes. There are many dangerous snakes to be found in Africa, but they're not primarily dangerous to lions. Snakes are not stupid and realize that it's much easier for them to prey on something smaller. Nevertheless, occasionally there are situations when snakes attack lions. When it comes to lion cubs, they sometimes fall under the deadly rings of pythons. These giant snakes can easily grab and do not let go of their grip even large crocodiles, let alone an inexperienced and soft lion cub. It can only count on the help of its congeners. But if we talk about venomous snakes, then black mambas are the main danger to lions. These snakes are insidious and ruthless. Their venom is very powerful and can knock down even an elephant. Lions, too, can get hurt if they provoke a snake. In this case, the final hours and minutes of life of the king of the jungle will be as unpleasant and creepy as possible. Stable fly. Surely many of you have never heard of such a creature. In terms of appearance and behavior, it's almost exactly the same as the annoying housefly. Yes, that very that disturbs your sleep, buzzes, and is always trying to sit on your food or your hands. However, the stable fly is much more dangerous. It's a carrier of Staphylococcus as well as the causative agent of anthrax, sepsis, and an impressive list of other nightmarish diseases. Incredibly, this tiny bug, which length does not exceed 0.3 inches, can finish off a lion without much effort. This is evidenced by an incident that took place in Tanzania in 1962. In Ngorongoro Conservation Area, where an isolated populations of lions lived, heavy rains allowed the stable fly to reproduce for 6 months in a row. As a result, the conservation area became a real hell for lions. These flies bit them, infecting them with dangerous infections. As a result, the local population of lions has decreased from 70 to 10 individuals. Never underestimate the power of insects. Although even a fly can kill a lion, we should not forget that it is king of the jungle and all beasts. Keep watching and I'll prove to you why this is so. Let's start with perhaps the most atypical lion on the planet. Look at these white lions. You can find many pictures and videos of these lions on the internet. But what is all this? Photoshop and editing? Or did these lions fall into a vat of paint? In fact, such lions do exist. One can definitely say that they are one in a million. Although there's no doubt in the existence of the white individuals, in the past no one at all believed in them. In Africa, where the lions lived, the white ones were considered a myth, while some locals believed that the white lions were some kind of legendary deities. Everything became clearer in 1938 when white lions were first seen in the wild. The first logical assumption is that these lions have albinism. It often occurs in other animals that turn completely white, but it's not that simple. White lions are white because of leucism, a particular color mutation. Unlike albinos, the eyes of individuals with leucism are normally colored. Today, there are only about 10 white lions living in the wild. In captivity, there are more of them. About 300 unique white lions are scattered in different nature reserves where they're carefully protected. White lions can rightly be called very rare, but there are other rare lions in the world, including entire species. Scientists believe that the Asiatic lion is one of these species. Yes, in case you don't know, lions roam not only the expanses of the African savannas, but also the Asian jungles. At least they used to. Asian kings of the jungle were distributed throughout South and Central Asia, and now they live only in the reserve of the Indian state of Gujarat. According to various sources, there are between 400 and 800 of them left. The Asiatic lion is similar to its African relative. For example, it's similar in appearance. It's also similar in size. The Asiatic lion is only slightly smaller than the African lion. But the way of its life is different. If African lions live largely in prides, which often total dozens of individuals, the Asiatic big cats live in small families. Usually the family consists of an alpha male, 2 to 3 females, and cubs. This is due to the fact that the Asiatic lion's food supply is smaller, and it doesn't have to hunt such large animals as African predators do. Although scientists are doing their best to preserve the Asiatic lion population, it's possible that these big cats will become extinct in the near future. The next lion from this episode has already faced that. I mean, it's extinct. Nevertheless, it still inhabits our planet. Some kind of Schrodinger's lion. I'm talking about the Barbary lion. The last Barbary lion living in the wild was shot in 1922. As a full-fledged subspecies, the Barbary lion is indeed extinct, but its genes have not been completely destroyed. Direct descendants of Barbary lions with mixed genes still live in the world today. Although they're not purebred, one look at them is enough to understand that they are different from ordinary African lions. The descendants of Barbary lions look formidable, rough, and even a little primeval. They have a thick, dark mane, stiff facial features, and coarse fur. These lions look as if they're always displeased with everything. And what is there to be happy about when humans have exterminated your distant ancestors? Barbary lions look very powerful because of their formidable appearance and large size. But ligers look much more powerful. Yes, the liger is not a full-fledged lion, but a hybrid offspring of a male lion and a female tiger. However, these creatures look more like giant lions than tigers. Roughly speaking, the liger can be called the biggest lion on the planet, and the biggest cat in general. These giants, who are bred and found only in captivity, inherit the best from their parents, resulting in a huge cat being born. The liger can reach a length of 13 feet or more, and its weight exceeds 660 pounds. This is 1/3 more than that of large lions. But this isn't the limit. The biggest liger in the world, named Hercules, is even bigger. He weighs 922 pounds, twice as much as an ordinary lion. At the same time, Hercules, like many other ligers, has good mobility, speed, and agility. Only the white liger can be more amazing and unique than the common liger. The first white liger on the planet appeared in December 2013 in a safari park in the USA. The mother of the unique creatures was a white Bengal tiger, and the father was a white African lion. Yes, one of the very ones I told you about at the beginning of this episode. This was the first time in history that a white lion successfully mated with a white tigress and produced white hybrid cubs. The white ligers became leucism carriers just like their parents. The four were named Odin, Samson, Yeti, and Apollo, and all were born healthy. Another unique hybrid with a lion's admixture is the Tigon. It's also called Tiglon or Tyon. While the liger is a hybrid between a male lion and a tigress, the Tigon is a hybrid between a lioness and a male tiger. Like ligers, Tigons are not found in the wild, as tigers and lions currently live in different habitats. Tigons are rare and unique animals that are endowed with the qualities of both parents. They may have spots from their mother and stripes from their father. A Tigon's mane, if it appears, will always be shorter than that of a lion. Tigons are usually smaller than lions, and Tigons weigh about 330 pounds. Although the Tigon is inferior in size to the liger, scientists believe that this hybrid can survive in the wild, but the liger cannot. It has higher speed and better developed senses. In any case, they're not going to be released into the wild. So far, Tigons are in captivity and even have fights with ligers. Check out one of these battles. Let's get back to ordinary lions. Actually, how can I call them ordinary ones when we have the giant record breakers next? The largest African lion in the world of all time is considered to be an individual shot by hunters in South Africa in 1936. There are no photos of the individual, but according to hunters, the animal weighed 690 pounds. As for the lions in captivity, one of the largest ones was an individual that lived in Dublin Zoo in Ireland. The lion set a record in 1959. At that time, he weighed 827 pounds and reached 10 feet in length. The record breakers include a lion named Mufasa from Montana. This giant was distinguished by a huge mane and no less huge weight. According to some reports, he weighed 639 pounds. All these figures are very impressive. In fact, as a rule, the weight of a very large lion rarely exceeds 550 pounds. And on average, lions weigh about 330 to 440 pounds. Feel the difference. Now let's move on to the little lions. In general, all lions are large in one way or another. It's not for nothing that they're called big cats. But among them there are not very large individuals. For example, northern lions. Otherwise, they're called Panthera leo. This subspecies inhabits the territory of West Africa and is inferior in size to its African relatives. Even large males may weigh only 330 pounds, while females are even smaller and lighter. They also differ from ordinary African lions in their way of life. Like Asiatic lions, the northern cats live in small prides, which are more like families. Also, they differ a little from ordinary lions externally. The manes of male northern lions are usually small, and some male northern lions have no mane at all. But northern lions are not only famous for this, they're also some of the rarest lions on the planet, because the subspecies is threatened with complete extinction right now. If a couple of decades ago the population of northern lions totaled 450 to 1,300 individuals, Now, according to scientists, there are less than 300 of these predators left in the wild. Unfortunately, humans are largely to blame for this. Scar. And finally, I'll show you the lion that for a long time was called the most famous in the world. As you've already understood, his name was the same as that of the main villain from the Lion King animated movie. In 2007, he was born in the Kenyan Masai Mara National Reserve, where he lived until his death in 2021. Scar could not be confused with anyone else because he was missing one eye and half of his face was mutilated, just like the cartoon villain. In fact, that's why they called him Scar. It's believed that Scar received such gruesome injuries in a fight with other males. This happens all the time because African lions constantly have to defend their territory and the pride. Many of them die fighting for lionesses and supremacy. Scar ruled his pride for a long time, and all the locals knew about him. According to their recollections, for all his creepy appearance, the lion was kind and sweet. Unfortunately, in 2021, Scar passed away, but he died of natural causes, not in a battle with another strong lion. Such a death is considered very rare in the world of lions. That's all, guys. Who do you like more, lions or tigers? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.